everybody, it's DTK Productions and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I put together the tallest lineup I could in NBA 2K23. This lineup consists of Ralph Sampson, Yao Ming, Mark Eaton, Arvydas Sabonis, George Mirasan, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Rick Smits, Chuck Nevitt, Sean Bradley, Manute Bol, Boban, Randy Brewer, Hasheem Thabeet, and Tacko Fall. No one on this team is under 7'3", and this is what they've got. We've got no one who's not a center or a center power forward on this team, but they got George Mirasan, the 7'7", 303-pound man, running our point guard position. This team definitely has some advantages, but it has a lot of disadvantages too. The first advantage, I don't know who's going to score in the paint on this team. Like, we've got no one on our team is under 7'3". How are you going to score in the paint? Possibly. But if we're playing like a good shooting team, I don't see how they don't like score 180 points on us. If we look at some of the stats for this team, our three-point shooting, we cannot score from the outside. We've got one person who's even capable of it at this point, and it's Arvydas. Mid-range, we got a couple more people who are able to do it. Inside, though, is where we're going to thrive, even though not really. We've only got 5 people with A's who can score inside. But inside defense, that's where we might thrive. Perimeter defense, only a couple people who are even capable of it. Playmaking, Arvydas Sabonis is that guy. Mirasan, our starting point guard, as a D playmaking. Rebounds, our team should get a lot of them. Physicals, no one on our team has great physicals. IQ, that doesn't really matter in this game, I don't think. Leave your predictions down in the comments below of how good you think this team's going to be. I genuinely have no idea how good they're going to be because they almost have 390 overalls on the team, but they have no speed and no perimeter play. And in today's NBA, I think this is probably going to be a failed experiment. But we're going to do it nonetheless. We're going to sim to the All-Star break. I'll see you guys when we get there. So we made it to the All-Star break, and this team has absolutely shattered my expectations. They're 38-20 at the All-Star break. And finally, in one of these simulations, we actually have an All-Star. Arvydas Sabonis finds a way to make it into the All-Star reserves for our squad. And looking at award races, Luka's almost averaging 40 points again with 13 rebounds and 10 assists, so MVP him once again. Rookie of the Year looks like it's going to go to Paolo with Jaden Ivey kind of close behind him. Sixth man looks like it's going to go to Cole Anthony. And DPOY is on pace to go to Joel Embiid. And if we look at our team's stats right now, Yao Ming is our leading scorer, getting over 20 a game, along with his 8.5 rebounds. So overall, just here, better stats than Arvydas, but Arvydas has 6 assists a game, so he's definitely doing better. I'm starting to think maybe he's been moved to the point guard spot because Mirasan's only getting 2.5 assists per game. No one's really averaging a bunch of turnovers. I would expect a team like this to not have the best ball security, but they're really not doing horrible. And this to me is kind of unexpected. I understand Arvydas was the best three-point rating on our team, but I didn't expect him to shoot 40% from 3 and making 3 a game for us. And the 2 other people who've made 3s are Ralph Sampson and George Mirasan, of course, our point guard, George Mirasan. But now if we look at the standings, we're actually the 4 seed. The Baltimore Blue Crabs are down at the 4 seed, 38-20. We're winning our games on average by 7.6, which isn't the best in the league. The Dallas Mavericks are actually doing that. Points allowed per game, though, we're only allowing 103 points per game. It's just the fact that we don't score as much. But this team has definitely impressed me. I didn't expect this team to do as good as they've done so far, but hopefully they can just keep it up because this team definitely is going to need it when it comes to playoff time. So we made it to award selection. Luka's going to win your MVP. Paolo's going to win your Rookie of the Year. Andre Drummond, your 6th man. Giannis, your DPOY. Cade Cunningham, Most Improved. And Jason Kidd is your Coach of the Year. All NBA teams, I'm not sure if any of our guys are going to be able to make it, and they don't. All defensive teams, no one makes that either, and I don't think we have any rookies to make the all-rookie team. And we find ourselves as the 5th seed, and we're going to have to play the Pelicans in the first round of the playoffs. So we're going to get right into round 1. First game against the Pelicans. And after game 2, it's a 1-1 series between us and the Pelicans. Game 3 goes to the Pelicans. Game 4, and now we just are desperate for a win. We're going to simulate with Simcast just because, and we actually need this game, so that's why we're doing it in Simcast, not just because. First quarter was good for us. Second quarter, not so good, but third quarter we kind of got that lead back, but we're only up by 10, but still up by 10. We're going to take that game. Now we've got game number 6, another must win for us at home though, and we start off the first quarter again really great. I think it might be a tired thing. Our guys might just be getting tired because they're so much larger than everyone else, and it's a close one, but we just can't score. It's a 3-point game with 18 seconds left. I'm going to jump in and hope we have the ball, which we don't, and Zion's shooting free throws, so it's not the end of the world because Zion's shooting free throws. We'll just see what happens. We'll see if our team can get anything done. It's not looking too likely, and Zion hits that free throw. Yeah, let's see what Arvydas Sabonis can do. Our team is really tall. It's so funny to see, but he's going to have to shoot a 3, and it just rims out, and it looks like in year number 1, we're not going to be able to take it. The Pelicans are the team that's going to knock us out of the playoffs. Hopefully we get a little bit of progression. I'm pretty sure most of the guys on our team are above 30 though, so I wouldn't expect a bunch of it. I'm just hoping for a better situation next year. Now I'm just going to simulate the playoffs so we can see who goes on to win the championship, and it looks like Luka is going to face James Harden and Joel Embiid in the finals, and it's going to go in a 4-0 sweep to Joel Embiid and James Harden in the finals. The 76ers win. So now we're at player progression, and this is what I worried about. A lot of regression for everybody on our team. Arvydas goes down 4 overalls. He's 35. So our best player just drops down to be our 4th best player. I mean, really, our team is just so much worse than it was last year. I'm assuming with how they played last year, though, we're going to be a lower playoff seed, but we're still going to make the playoffs, so hopefully we still got that going for us. Overall, it's not looking great, so I'll see you guys when we get to the All-Star break of the season, and hopefully I have good news to report to you guys, but we'll see. So we made it to the All-Star break in year number 2, and we have the same amount of wins as we did last year, so it doesn't look like too much has changed. Award races, Luka's going to win it all. Wembanyama is going to win Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons, 6th man. Wembanyama, DPOY, though, that's interesting as a rookie. Most improved looks like it's going to go to Trey Mann, and that's it for the awards. I'm curious to see if we had an all-star this year, and we did. Yao Ming over here ended up being an all-star for us, and I'm not seeing any of our other players' names, so Yao Ming stepped up to the challenge and filled up that Arvydas Sabonis role. I'm wondering if Sabonis is still being that shooter for us, and Sabonis is still actually doing really good. He's still averaging at 8. He's actually gone up 2 overall since whatever it's called, player progression. I forgot what it was called for a second. He's still averaging 19 points, but Yao Ming's got 20.6 with 8.5 rebounds, so he's definitely doing good. Sabonis is still right there, shooting a little worse than he was last year. And who's this? Manute Bol has hit he's probably 2 for 3 if I'm being honest, because he's barely averaging any of these, but he's shooting 66% from 3. But yeah, I can understand why Yao Ming was our all-star this year instead of Arvydas, even though Arvydas is still definitely having a good year. And I can't forget about Ralph Sampson also putting up 17 and 8 for us as well. The only 3 people averaging more than 15. And if you look at the standings, we're actually the 5th seed. Same seed we were, not at the same time last year. I remember us vividly being the 4th seed, but in the playoffs, we were the 5th seed last year. So we're still on pace to stay right where we were last year. Are we still a great defensive team? Yeah, we're the best defensive team in the West. I'm going to change it to all, actually. And we're the best defensive team in the league by 5 points. But offensively, we are the 3rd worst team offensively in the league. So that's where the issue lies. Our issue is purely scoring. And the worst team in the NBA is actually the Spurs. They're 8-50 right now. That's horrible. And my question is why are the Suns always one of the worst teams in simulation? Like, whenever I do the simulation, or any simulation, they're just one of the worst teams. Oh, and they have Russell Westbrook now, too. And Joshua Primo. That's questionable. That's a questionable pickup. But Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and DeAndre Ayton. I don't know what about that team makes them 18-43. But now that you got an idea of how our team is doing at the All-Star break, we're going to send them to the playoffs, and hopefully year 2 playoffs can give us a little bit more hope into the future. Luka goes on to win MVP, and Nick Smith Jr. actually wins Rookie of the Year. That's the first time I've seen him win it. I've only ever seen it go to Wembanyama or Scoot, but Nick Smith Jr. gets involved in it. Ben Simmons wins 6th man, Bam Adebayo wins DPOY, and Trey Mann most improved. All NBA teams, I'm not expecting to see any of our guys in there as always. Defensive team, maybe, and no. We don't have anybody on any of these teams. And once again, we are the 5th seed, but this time we only have to play the Portland Trailblazers, who scare me a lot less than the Pelicans in this game. Let's take a look at their roster just in whole really quick. Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, Yusuf Nurkic. So they've made no changes whatsoever. But their best player is coming off the guard position, so we're definitely going to struggle, actually. I'm not going to say we might struggle. We're definitely going to struggle. But I got hope that Yao Ming can just take this game into his hands and just deal with it in the paint against Yusuf Nurkic. But let's see what happens. Game number 1. Oh, wait, still got to get over there. Game number 1. They're going to take game 2. They're going to take... Yeah, our team just isn't shooting the ball well. Shooting like 33% is not going to get us a win. But for game number 3, got to keep your hopes high, and we end up walking away with that game. Game 4, we get game 5, and we're down 3-2 in the first round once again. This is where we lost last year. Can this team even make it into the second round in this video? And it looks like it's a tight game, and we got blown out in the second quarter after that. And we're already down 10 points in the third quarter. We're down almost 25, and it looks like it's done, and we end up losing by 22 points. And it is not Yao Ming's fault. It is probably Arvydas Sabonis' fault for shooting 6 for 16. He actually sold in the playoffs. What did he do in the playoffs? In the playoffs, he actually didn't didn't fall out points-wise, but he must have just been taking a lot more shots because he lost 4% to his field goal percentage in the playoffs. And he shot 6% worse from the free throw line, so he really just kind of fell off of a cliff for us. Yao Ming, though, turned up to another level, averaging almost 24 and 9, much better than his regular season stats. I'll simulate the rest of the playoffs so you guys can see who goes on to win the championship, as OKC is once again your first seed. And are they playoff bound or finals bound? Yes, they are. Shea wins your finals MVP for the Western Conference, and Trae Young for your Eastern Conference. So it's Trae versus Shea. Who can get it done? Simulate through round, and Trae Young loses. The OKC Thunder go on to win. Shea averages 33, 6, and 10 in the finals, but our team loses in the first round in year number 1 and year number 2. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Maybe I'll do a simulation of the shortest players to ever play in the NBA and see how they can do in a simulation exactly like this. Also, be sure to check out the links in my description if you'd like to check me out on other platforms like Twitch and Twitter. I'm going to start streaming pretty soon on Twitch, I believe. And Twitter if you just want to keep up to date with me just on a daily basis kind of thing. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.